Madam Secretary, on April 24th, a woman in Louisiana was deported along with her 7-year-old daughter and 4-year-old son, both of whom were U.S. citizens. The 4-year-old son had stage 4 cancer. Now, you just stated under oath that the mother consented to having her U.S. citizen children removed. But I have spoken with the attorney for that U.S. citizen child with stage 4 cancer. She has also made numerous statements to the press in which she stated unequivocally that at no time did the mother consent to her U.S. citizen children being removed. What evidence do you have to support your claim that she did consent?
Congressman, we followed the same policies and procedures.
What evidence do you have? What evidence do you have?
We have documentation that
what documentation do you have that mother consented?
We'll get that to you, sir. I don't have it with me.
Please do. I understand it's hard to keep them all straight because you've deported multiple U.S. citizen children, but I'm asking specifically about the 4-year-old with cancer who was deported on April 25th. For the record, that family was also not given access to legal counsel before they were deported, even though their lawyer was in the same building at the time. I'm holding in my hands here a document called ICE Directive 11064, Interests of Non-Citizen Parents and Legal Guardians of Minor Children. This is the policy for how ICE agents should handle situations like this. It states unequivocally that parents and legal guardians should have the ability to make alternative care arrangements for minor children prior to their arrest or detention, and that ICE must afford parents the opportunity to consult with legal counsel. So, did the ICE agents working on this case who deported this 4-year-old with cancer of their own volition fail to follow ICE policies, or were they directed to by your office or anyone else in DHS leadership?
Sir, this mother chose to keep her child with her.
You have not produced any evidence to say so, but I'm asking again, have you directed DHS officers to ignore this policy?
It's very different than the previous administration. The previous administration
on March 15th, reclaiming my time, on March 15th, your department sent 3 airplanes to El Salvador. Those planes carried approximately 261 individuals who were imprisoned upon arrival. Did you personally review and approve the names of those 261 individuals before they were sent?
Sir, we have deported and sent home
did you review the names of those individuals?
And we have individuals that have
why won't you answer the question?
Within the Department of
Are you aware of whether those 261 individuals were given the opportunity to speak with a lawyer or appear before a judge before they were put on those planes? Yes or no?
Sir, every single individual followed the exact same process.
They were not all given the opportunity to appear before a judge or speak with a lawyer. On April 7th, the Supreme Court ruled that detainees must have an opportunity to have a hearing before they are deported. Are you familiar with the April 7th Supreme Court ruling?
I am.
Can you assure us that in the future you will abide by that Supreme Court ruling to provide detainees with a hearing before they are deported?
Following all judges' orders, yes, sir.
I have a photograph here of André Hernandez Romero, a gay makeup artist from Venezuela. He fled Venezuela fearing gang violence because of his opposition to the Maduro dictatorship and his sexual orientation. He presented himself at a port of entry and requested asylum. His claim was found to be credible, and he was placed in detention to await a full hearing. But he never received a full hearing because you put him on one of those planes to El Salvador, where he still is today. Listen to me. He had no criminal record in the United States or in any other country. He did not even enter the country illegally. He presented at a port of entry. He tried to do it the legal way. And to this date, the only evidence your department has presented to justify his imprisonment is that he had 2 tattoos, one that said mom and one that said dad. Do you have any other evidence to present for why this individual should be locked up in El Salvador?
Sir, every case is used the same protocols and the same processes and inputs.
Do you have any evidence other than the tattoos that say mom or dad for why this individual should be locked up?
It's not just on tattoos. It's who they're affiliated with, their communication.
You have not presented any other evidence, nor has your department. Reclaiming my time, during your confirmation hearing, you said your focus would be on deporting immigrants who have been convicted of crimes and those who have received removal orders. But that is not what you have been doing. Instead, you have been deporting children with cancer, children who are U.S. citizens, a gay makeup artist who committed no crime and didn't even enter the country illegally. You have been sloppy. Your department has been sloppy. And instead of focusing on real criminals, you have allowed innocent children to be deported while you fly around the country playing dress up for the cameras. Instead of enforcing the laws, you have repeatedly broken them. You need to change course immediately before more innocent people are hurt.
This footage It's precisely the kind of scenario that should unsettle anyone who still possesses a hint of empathy. Let's put aside politics and party divides for a moment. We're dealing with a 4-year-old American boy battling stage 4 cancer, not an early stage, not something easily controlled. Stage 4, the most severe level of the illness, a child who should be enveloped in love, comfort, and top-notch medical attention. But instead, our own government placed him on a deportation flight with his mother, sending them to an uncertain, potentially perilous future. What makes this even more unsettling is that when questioned, the Secretary of Homeland Security was unable to present a single piece of evidence that the mother agreed to taking her seriously ill child out of the country. Not one. The congressman inquired repeatedly, "What proof do you have?" And the response was basically, "We'll get back to you." That's not an answer. It's a delaying tactic. It's an attempt to wait out the outrage until they're no longer pressured to provide documentation that might not even exist. Meanwhile, the attorney representing the child has consistently stated that no such consent was granted. The mother has voiced the same sentiment to the media. So, who we're supposed to trust? The family and their lawyer, who have nothing to gain from deceit? Or the DHS leadership responsible for the deportation now scrambling to cover their tracks? Let's refer to ICE's own documented policy, held by the congressman during the hearing. ICE Directive 11,064 clearly mentions that parents should have the chance to arrange care for their children and consult legal counsel before any detention or deportation. The family's lawyer was present at the facility, on site. Yet the deportation proceeded without the mother having any opportunity to make other care arrangements or obtain legal advice. That isn't adhering to protocol, it's a blatant breach of it. Now, envision how this appears from the child's point of view. You're 4 years old, weakened by chemotherapy. You can't comprehend why your body is in such pain. All you know is that the doctors are trying to assist you. You likely have a favorite nurse, a familiar room, maybe a cherished toy by your hospital bed. Then, out of the blue, people in uniforms show up, and suddenly you're on the move. Not to a hospital, not to a place with necessary medicine, but to an airport, on a plane, out of the country, away from your medical team, away from specialists familiar with your case, away from a place where there was a glimmer of hope. And for what reason? To satisfy a procedural requirement? To meet deportation targets? To push some vague political agenda of enforcement? This isn't enforcement, it's brutality. It's bureaucracy wielded against the most defenseless person imaginable. And it's not just this isolated incident. The congressman highlights that numerous U.S. citizen children have been deported. Many. The secretary appeared indifferent to this fact, as though it was just another routine day at work. That's alarming. Because when leaders stop being appalled by these actions, treating them as mundane, it signals a deeply corrupted system. Then there are those deportation flights, planes filled with hundreds headed to El Salvador, where, as acknowledged by the department, many likely had no opportunity to converse with a lawyer or stand before a judge. This, despite the Supreme Court's recent ruling just weeks earlier that detainees must have a hearing prior to deportation. That ruling wasn't flexible, it wasn't a suggestion, it was the law. Yet, DHS proceeded as if it were irrelevant. And then there's the case of Andre Hernandez Romero, a Venezuelan gay makeup artist. He followed all the right steps, he fled violence, he sought entry legally. His asylum request was deemed credible, yet he was deported. Not due to criminal activity, not for being a threat, but because of tattoos that read Mom and Dad. That's the sort of evidence currently being used to ruin lives. This is what occurs when immigration enforcement prioritizes appearances over justice. Cases that enhance good statistics, those that can be spun positively in press releases, get prioritized even if the individuals involved are innocent, even if law states they should be safeguarded. And those making these decisions are shielded from witnessing the human costs. They aren't there to watch a 4-year-old's condition deteriorate because his cancer treatment was cut short. They don't face a mother fearing her child lacks necessary medical care for survival in a foreign country. We frequently hear law and order rhetoric from the right. But what law is being upheld here? The Supreme Court declares one thing, while ICE policy states another, yet both are disregarded by DHS. If anything, this is the antithesis of law and order. It's lawlessness conducted by those who claim to be enforcing laws. Here's the stark truth. When a government begins to target those who are vulnerable, ill, who meticulously follow every requirement, it's not about national security. It's about sending a frightening message. It doesn't matter if you adhere to the rules. If we decide you need to go, we will find a way to make it happen. The young cancer-stricken boy deserved better. His mother deserved better. Every person quietly deported without due process deserved better. This happening in the United States in 2025 should infuriate everyone enough to demand transparency, demand accountability, and demand reform. Because if they can do this to a 4-year-old American citizen, they can do it to any of us.